uh, about things he wants to be practiced on his land moving forward in the future, and things he wished he would have done from the start. Rules such as no shorts for men, modest dress for women. These things are actually, overall, they're pretty good. I generally don't disagree with a lot of it, but the forced removal of choice regarding
Diet.
meat, yeah, it's a bit overbearing, and I have disagreed with Titus a lot on this. The problem is it's his land. If you don't like it, you don't have to go there. He's made it clear to me, if I don't like it, I don't have to go there anymore. And I find it to be a bit controlling. That's beside the point. Overall, I choose to go there, and I've broken those rules almost every time, and they've overlooked it. That's beside the point. So, Christian and I were talking to Titus, and some of you all may not know this. I have been kind of sworn to secrecy about this issue, but under the circumstances, I feel I've been misled on this issue of Titus and Stephanie not getting married. So under intentional or unintentional false pretenses, intentional deception or not, maybe not keeping someone's word fully, I don't know. That's between him and the Father, okay? Regardless, my position is I don't feel led necessarily to keep this quiet anymore. The house of prayer is under construction. The foundation, the footers were poured probably, I would say, 5 weeks ago or so. The walls for the basement were poured about 3 weeks ago. I was there the day they poured them.
You mentioned the House of Health.
It's coming.
Okay.
That's good, Christian.
Yes.
So the walls were poured about 3 weeks ago. I guess it'd be 3 weeks ago this Friday or so. It's a pretty cool day, by the way. It's pretty interesting. A lot happened. But they're planning on beginning framing of the House of Prayer around September 1st. And it's going to be built probably in rapid succession. Rapid meaning about a month. We'll see what happens. At this point, under the current circumstances, I don't think it should be built. This is going to be Henson Creek, House of Stephanie and Titus. That is what is coming. They're going to live in the House of Prayer as a married couple, eventually. Stephanie purchased land so the original House of Prayer site was on the 50 or so acres. They're close to Titus's house, just immediately 300 feet or so west of Titus's house. What is now this big open clearing, and it's being graveled. I was there on groundbreaking day, approximately October 4th. And since that time, he's acquired the land across the street, an additional 55 acres. And if I understand correctly, Stephanie's got 13.9 acres that she acquired next to him, which goes further east, and it's probably 500 feet east of the new location of the House of Prayer. And to be more specific, the new location for the House of Prayer is across from the barn. It's on the hill across from the barn. But Titus told us that his plan long term is to live in the House of Prayer with Stephanie as a married couple. He didn't say this completely directly, but we had no question. It was obvious this is his plan. I know Titus is a man. I know Titus is accountable to God as a human being, as an adult. But there is something lacking in Titus. I don't fully understand it. And again, this is my opinion, okay? Sometimes he's so childlike. It's almost like to a fault. And he's different. It's not all entirely bad. He's just Titus. Faults and all, human and all. He is very unique. He's one of the most interesting people I've ever met. Maybe the most interesting person I've ever met. I've often described him as like John the Baptist meets Huckleberry Finn. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like it. And I wanted to start, I'm getting off topic, but I wanted to start a YouTube channel for many years. Never did it. I've always been interested in photography and video to some degree. And so I went to Titus's in October for the first time, October of last year for the first time. I think I told them then, I want to start a YouTube channel someday. I think a lot of people say that and never do it. I was in that class. I was saying it for years and not doing it. And then in January, I started my channel. And going to Titus's is great, but if you have a YouTube channel, it's amazing because he's like a content machine. You never know what he's going to do at any given moment. It's going to be amazing. You just don't know. And it's fun and it's interesting and hilarious, you know, and it's just Titus. There's only one of him. So throughout everything that's going on, there's so many more things that can be said in the rumor side and the court side. Things are probably going to come out eventually that are worse than this. We'll see, maybe not. I don't know. That's between, you know, our maker. I'm surprised it hasn't gotten out yet, but be patient with him and remember, this is for everybody, even someone who might consider Titus an enemy. There are people out there who consider him an enemy. Keep in mind, we all sin, we all fall short, all of us, and we're going to be judged by the way we have judged others. So there are reasons sometimes for people acting out, making bad decisions, for lack of a better term. Just don't judge him too harshly. Be patient with him. Okay, I just happened to flip to the next page and it caught my eye. I'm not saying Titus is a type of Moses, but it is interesting because during June and July, we were going through this Bible study by the creek, and so many times we were talking about Aaron and Moses, and it seemed like it was fitting to our situation. And it struck us. And so we were, you know, sometimes indirectly comparing Titus to Moses, but he's not Moses, so don't read into that too much. Anyway, he saith unto them, and these are the words of Christ, Matthew 19:8. He saith unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning it was not so. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her, which is put away, committeth adultery. So, you know, in so many ways we're dealing with this. Titus is actively planning to marry a woman who's currently married, and technically her husband, if I understand correctly, is planning to divorce. Well, he has filed for divorce, but she's still married. So this is a perfect way to wreck a church. And there is something else. When we were at Titus's on Saturday, I asked Titus directly, okay, let's help build Titus's church. That turns into Henson Creek House of Prayer. And now Stephanie sent me this thing 5 weeks ago, this list of rules. She emailed it to me. I printed it out. I wish I had it with me. But it's a list of rules. Again, it's not all bad. It's not all what I determine to be necessarily good, but it's not my place to say. It's not my place. This is Titus's thing. Hopefully it's Christ's thing, right? Anyway, the printout was titled Henson Creek House of Health. And so I asked Titus, is this going to be a church? He said, no, this is not going to be a church. This is the Henson Creek House of Prayer. It's a house of prayer. It's not a church. And I said, okay, so fine, if you want to call it that. But let me get this straight. Is this a house of health? He said, yes, it's actually a house of prayer and a house of health. So, again, just to reiterate, Titus and Stephanie are, I believe, clearly planning to move into this Henson Creek House of Prayer, which is also going to be the house of health. And according to Titus, and according to plans that Stephanie has sent me to hand over to Titus, because she texted them to me, she is planning, she is designing this. This is actually her design. So, who would have thought when they started this GoFundMe that it's actually arguably Henson Creek House of Stephanie in so many ways. And I care about Stephanie. This is not an attack on Stephanie. This is completely unfit. She's a married woman. She's still married to Jeff. She's going to wreck the situation. I was talking to someone today, and they said something very interesting. Well, what happens if Titus and Stephanie get married? They move into the house of house of prayer and house of health. It's getting complicated, isn't it? What happens if they get married, she moves in, and then they get out of the honeymoon phase, and eventually, what if she files for divorce? And she ends up owning a house of prayer. Think about it. This is getting crazy. Back in October, when I was there, Titus was looking to get married. Things were said in YouTube videos, and a woman came, and it was kind of, I don't know, it was probably not well thought out, but I think he was planning to some degree to marry this woman, and it didn't work out, and maybe that was for the best.